So the re-releases of The Sims 1 and The Sims 2 have been out for less than 5 days at this point, and they have already been bug fixes. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. I'm back with another, I don't want to call this a rant video because it's more comical at this point. EA have continuously messed up, and I kind of laughed when I heard about these issues, and so I thought, hey, let's go through the patch notes for The Sims 1 and Sims 2 re-releases. I recently did a video talking about my thoughts and opinions on the re-releases and how I believe it was just a money grab, and I feel like my thoughts and opinions stand after seeing what I have been seeing. So as I go through this, there might be some Sims 2 gameplay in the background just so that you don't constantly have to stare at my face. If you want to check out the bug fixes for yourself, I will have the website linked down below in the description. So I roughly read through all of these patch notes before starting the video, and it's not good. The fact that it's been probably about 5 days as of when I'm recording this video, I think these bugs were reported and probably fixed 4 days after the release. I think that just kind of shows you where EA's focus really is. It's clearly not focused on the games, but instead I believe it's focused more on money, and this is an opportunity for a money grab. Let's just start with the Sims 1 patch notes. Now, I'm more familiar with the Sims 2, so I'll probably be covering that in more detail, but I did want to mention the Sims 1 as well. So some of the fixed issues have to do with crashes. If the game is constantly crashing, that is not a good thing, and I kind of feel like if enough people reported it to the point where they had to patch it up, it shocks me that if the team actually player tested it, it shocks me that they didn't run into this issue. And I have a theory, other people have this theory too, that EA, the Sims developers, whoever was working on re-releases, didn't actually test the games to make sure that it runs smoothly. They just tried to update it to work on newer PCs, but they didn't actually do their due diligence, which I feel like if you're going to sell a game, a re-released game, for over 500 South African rands, I believe it was $29 for The Sims 2 and maybe $19 for The Sims 1. I'm not sure. I'll have a correction up on the screen if I'm wrong, but if you're going to sell the games for that amount of money, you probably should player test it and make sure that it doesn't completely crash when you try to play it. Apparently, if you press Alt and Enter while playing The Sims 1, the Windows title bar could sometimes become hidden, and also it would not toggle between full screen and windowed mode, which is very interesting considering I'm pretty sure they specifically spoke about having the full screen and windowed mode run more smoothly, so considering that's an issue, that's concerning. On some systems, the Sims can appear to launch and then immediately exit. No splash screen displayed. What, people just couldn't even load into the game that they paid for? Okay, Sims should now launch in most situations. Why isn't it launching in all situations? I don't understand that. You are selling a game and you are saying, yeah, like most of the time it should work. What about the other times? These release notes are actually like a comical joke. Like, after reading these, I laughed hysterically for such a long time because I cannot believe some of the stuff that they wrote here, thinking like, oh, this is a good thing. Some players are unable to click on various parts of the neighborhood map. That is kind of important when you play a game like The Sims. The travel screen when traveling between neighborhoods can sometimes appear garbled or glitched. I don't even know what garbled means, I'll be honest, but I know it's not good. The Sims might crash if you are not on the default neighborhood. Interact with another Sim and then save. So yeah, I guess only play in the default neighborhood, because if you dare play in a different neighborhood and want to interact with another Sim, it's all over for you. Over here they're talking about the zooming levels. In some situations in windowed mode, the title bar might not be visible. That's another thing with the title bar. Apparently there's quite a few issues with that. The family friends counter could sometimes not be visible. Right. So that's all the things they supposedly fixed in The Sims 1. I can't wait until the new bug release note patch. This is not good. Right. So like I said, I don't really play The Sims 1, so I don't have much to note. Over here we have The Sims 2 patch notes, which I feel like I have more opinions on, seeing as I've been playing The Sims 2 for a few months now. I got The Sims 2 maybe October, November, I can't really remember. So I've been obsessed with getting back into The Sims 2. So this is what I'm more interested about. My Sims 2 version versus the re-release version. Those are kind of what I'm able to compare a little bit more. Fixed issues. Alt-tab or Alt-enter can sometimes cause a crash. Of course, more crashes. Some players on the EA app received an error message indicating that certain needed files were corrupt. I was talking a lot about corruption in the previous video, and I guess I was correct in assuming EA didn't even bother to fix corruption or to look into it or anything like that, seeing as there are literally files that were corrupted that are needed in order to play the game. So that is just okay. The game would sometimes crash after creating a family. Games sometimes launch on small resolution and then scaled the small format to fill the entire monitors. They were talking about how the monitors and the full screen and everything was so improved. It's obviously not, because people were still having these issues after it was re-released. In some situations, the game will launch and then immediately show a DirectX error, requiring use of the W option to work around the problem. So again, another issue that occurs right when you launch the game, right from the start. Sometimes a sim or multiple sims would disappear after the player moves to another lot or neighborhood, or after leaving and rejoining the game despite saving. You mean to tell me that my sim or multiple of my sims are just disappearing from the neighborhood? That must be so frustrating, just having your sim there one moment and then not there the next. The only time that I've seen that on the version of The Sims 2 that I have is when somebody had a ton of mods and there was something conflicting. I saw it in a live stream. I can't exactly remember who it was, but they basically moved Nina into an apartment, and I believe she disappeared, but it had to do with mods. So the fact that this is happening without mods, bit of an issue. Sometimes non-adult sims, so children or pets, would disappear. Again, with the disappearing, and in this note it doesn't even clarify what situation happened, so apparently just randomly children and pets would disappear. It has nothing to do with moving to other lots or interacting or leaving and rejoining. Just children and pets, EA doesn't like them. They're not welcome in The Sims 2. They got rid of them. Some interactions that result in a transferable reward, e.g. a dog returns from work, can cause the game to crash. Another crash. Addressing some infinite loading screen issues. So with the infinite loading screen, I'm going to count that as a crash, because if it's an infinite loading screen and you can't get anywhere, you have to force your game to crash. So just by these patch notes, I am counting 1, 2, 3, and I'll give this 3.5, because technically the infinite loading screen isn't a crash, but you have to crash your game to get out of it. So I'm counting 3.5 different ways players have discovered that the game would crash, and 2 different ways that your sims would just disappear completely from the game. This is not good. For a game that has only been re-released for less than 5 days, having this many bugs, and not small bugs. It's not like an arm is being extended when your sim reaches for something, or that genetics don't exactly line up, or when your sims eat something, they take a bite and then they refuse to eat the rest of the food. Notice how I'm listing the different Sims 4 bugs that really annoyed me, but it's not like small-ish bugs like that you can kind of get around. These are like bugs where you could not play the game. Like, the game was unplayable with these bugs. Kudos for the Sims team for releasing a patch so quickly to fix all of these bugs, but my issue with it is that they had to. I would like to know how much the Sims team actually tested the re-release versions before they put it out for purchase, because the fact that there are so many different ways for the game to crash or sims disappearing or any of this stuff, the fact that that is happening so much kind of shows me, okay, they probably didn't test this this as much as they should. And honestly, I don't think they tested it at all. That's just a theory. Maybe they did, and maybe I'm just being a bitch. But I really think that they just said, okay, let's make this work for Windows 10, Windows 11, which, like I said in my previous video, you can get a mod to do that. So they didn't really do much. There was something really available for that, but I think they just did that and just sent it out in the world and didn't realize that your game would literally crash every 2 seconds. Something I've really noticed, specifically with the Sims 4 and these re-release versions, is that the games are so buggy, and I think this is just a theory, but what I think the reason for this is that the Sims 4 and these release versions are being released through an online launcher versus having the physical discs. When I played The Sims 2 using the discs like 20 odd years ago, I don't remember all of these crashes happening. I don't remember all of these disappearances happening unless I was stupid and I caused corruption, which I didn't because I was a good girl. But there weren't this many issues with the games back then. Even The Sims 3, I don't remember running into issues like this where the game literally just would not work. And I feel like now that the games are being released online, the Sims team doesn't actually need to focus on making the game perfect anymore, because they know, oh, if a bug is being reported, they can just release a quick patch online. Whereas back in the day, if you bought the physical copies, you can't just get a patch to fix the game. The game had to work perfectly, and that's something that really annoys me, because it feels like they just got lazy, knowing that if something's wrong they can just release a quick patch. For me, that's not okay. If you have to release a patch less than 5 days after a game is being released and people are buying it, you did not do your job properly. This whole situation sucks, because in my opinion, The Sims 2 is actually a really good game, and it's fun to play, and I've played it for hours and hours. Even without mods, I've had a lot of fun playing The Sims 2, and the fact that there are this many issues with the re-release versions just kind of pissed me off. I don't remember playing The Sims 1, but obviously people have a lot of nostalgia towards it, and it was a really good game at the time. A game has to be good for you to carry a franchise on for this long, so obviously people enjoyed it, and I feel very sorry for people who got the re-release version of The Sims 1 hoping to kind of relive those memories, and then they just can't play the game without these crashes happening and all of these bugs happening. It breaks my heart really, because I can imagine someone buying The Sims 2 or buying The Sims 1 excited to play and running into all of these issues, and it just kind of ruins it a little bit. Fortunately, I didn't buy the re-releases because I have The Sims 2. I got it for free, and so there's no reason for me to buy the re-releases, but some people did, and actually a lot of people did. It sucks. It sucks to see how little EA/The Sims team seems to care about the Simmers, and I don't know what's happening behind the scenes. I don't know if it's the developers of the game that's just not pulling their weight. I don't know if EA is forcing them to release things without the product being fully finished. I feel like if that's the case, release it as a sort of beta. Like, release it saying, hey, we're still busy testing it, just let us know what's going on until we can have the full release version up and available. I feel like there would be a lot less backlash if something like that were to happen, but instead they released it as a full complete game that you can now play on modern computers, and that's just not the case. When I read these patch notes, I knew immediately that I wanted to make another video on it, and I feel like I'm gonna become one of those channels that just pick apart everything that happens. I would like to say this is the last video I'm doing, but it's not. I've become very opinionated, and I am getting way too comfortable with putting my opinions out there online, which I feel like can be very dangerous, because all it takes is for me to have the wrong opinion and it's all over. But I feel like it's important to have these videos out there, not only because I'm frustrated about this, but I'm sure other people are too. There are so many people out there that are releasing videos talking about how amazing the game is, how much fun it is, and not really talking about these big issues. And I feel like it's okay to enjoy the game, but I feel like it's also good to acknowledge that this is happening for other people. I hope that the next time the Sims team releases patch notes, it won't be as bad as this. Looking on the bright side, at least they claim to have fixed these things. Do I think they actually fix some of these things? No, I think that there's going to be more patch notes saying, hey, we fixed new crashes. But I'm hoping and praying they fix the re-release version so people can actually enjoy the game and live in that nostalgia and just have that twinkle in their eye, because I feel like people do deserve to have that. The world is a scary place, and I feel like The Sims is a type of gaming franchise that can kind of take you away from the scariness and just give you a break. You can literally create your own world, you can create your own characters, you can create yourself, you can create other families, and if you need to get your frustrations out, you can just go ahead and murder the entire town. I do think the Sims games are good, but when it comes to things like this, it just pisses me off, because I know how great the Sims games can be, and I feel like they are constantly failing the community. And it's frustrating. I'm not gonna lie, it's frustrating. In researching this, I also saw that the Sims 4 is getting new DLCs. New DLCs have been announced, and I have thoughts on that as well. Tomorrow, as of when I'm filming this, tomorrow there's going to be a live stream. Probably when I post it, it will be today, but there is going to be a live stream talking about some of the new DLCs that are being released, and I am probably going to watch that live stream. I don't have high hopes for it, and I haven't watched a Sims 4 live stream in a really long time, so that's going to be interesting. But I'm not too happy with what I've seen, so I'm curious to see what is actually going to be shown, and depending on my thoughts and theories, I might make a video on it, because like I said, I'm getting too comfortable with this. But yeah, thank you for watching this video, going through these patch notes with me, because I am truly disappointed in the Sims team, and I just wanted to get this video out there. I really appreciate you guys watching this video. If you liked it, please remember to hit that like button and subscribe so that you're notified every time I post a new video. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.